for the last day of Layout Week 2013, and I'm going to be making a quick layout from the Studio Calico Sun Drifter collection. And this layout also has a sketch and a challenge with a giveaway and a prize over on my blog, so be sure to check the video description for more details and to download a copy of the sketch. So I've started with this blue seafoam looking paper that I'm going to use as my background, because what the picture is of my husband sticking his head in a prehistoric hippopotamus skull. And so that background paper looks like churning water to me, which really went with the whole hippo thing, because when they come up out of the water churns and they can be dangerous. So I did want kind of that element of sort of violence, energy. And then I had some yellow and orange scraps left over from another project, and I wanted to put those with the picture for a couple of reasons. The first is that those colors are hot colors, whereas the blue is cool, so there's a nice contrast there. But also there's a lot of yellow in the photo because of the skull, so I wanted to draw that in as well. And then I just wanted something in between all the different layers so they didn't run together. And so I just cut 1/2 inch strips of white cardstock, and I'm going to have 1/8 of an inch showing around all the edges of the papers. And that crisp white is just going to give some space between the patterns, brighten the page up a little bit, and keep it from looking too distressed or muddy or just yellow. And I also used an EK Success edge punch to make a large scallop border around the bottom yellow piece. Again, just for a little detail, a little bit more of a different look and a different texture. So now I'm pretty sure about my paper placement, and I'm going to start gluing things down. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue the scallop border to the edge of that piece of paper so I can handle it as one piece. And then I'm going to test with my 2 photo mats. Well, actually, one is a photo mat and one's journaling, where I need to glue my upper piece. And I'm going to glue that first, and then I'm glue the other one right beneath it. My 2 photo mats are also from the Sun Drifter collection, and they're both 5x7 in size. One is a photo mat, which is the coral and yellow, and then the other is for journaling and a title, which is the grid. And I'm just lightly crinkling. I'm not like crumpling it up into a ball. I don't want it to look really, really distressed, but I just want it to look a little not quite perfect and to have some extra texture. And then I'm going to take my photo, which is 4x6, and stick it right in the center. And so now I'm going to adhere those 2 down to the page, and I'm going to adhere them at an angle. Then that's going to help to break up all the straight lines that we have going on so far and to give the page more energy. So now I'm taking these Ombre Aqua thickers from the Sun Drifter collection, and I'm going to do my title, and my title is going to be done in an ombre style. So the top word, I'm using the lightest color. Then for the middle word, I'm going to use the medium color. And then for the bottom 2 words, I'm going to use the darkest color. And the title is When Hippos Had Hair, which is what the sign behind him says. And it's talking about prehistoric hippos. And I guess they used to have hair. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my brain there. It just kind of turned off for a second. So now I've got my title pretty much how I want it, and I'm going to just lay it out. And then I wanted a little distressing around the edge of the grid paper, so I got my dried marigold distress ink, and I'm using the foam applicator to put the ink around it. And then I decided I needed it on the other one, so I'm just very carefully going to lift up the edges just so I can add ink. And you can add ink to things after they've been glued down as long as you haven't glued them on their edges. And this one I glued in the center because I had crinkled it and I wanted the edges to lift, so it was no problem. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my journaling, and so I'm just going to mark a pencil with a pencil where the edge of the photo mat is so I can see the angle that I need to write my journaling on. And then I'm going to make sure when I tuck it back underneath that I just hide that pencil line I drew. And that's how I got my journaling. You can see that it follows the edge of the photo pretty well. So now I have one of the die cuts with a view for matte stacks, and this is for the Sunday afternoon paper collection, and it has a very similar color scheme to the Sundrifter collection. So I'm going to cut all of these clouds and washi tape pieces out of this card, and I'm going to use them as the major accents on my page. And when you're mixing your collections, just kind of think, usually summer collections, which these both are, will often have similar color tones to them, and you can mix them together. And so what I am doing is just cutting out all the clouds, and I'm layering them where I want them. And then once I know exactly where I want them, I'm going to come back through and glue them all down and then trim the edges. And I'm making sure that I have the scalloped edge, going off the page when I glue it down, so that I can come back through with a craft knife and get rid of it. And with that piece, I'm hiding it under the edge of the photo. And then with those upper pieces, I'm going to make sure, again, that it goes off the edge so I can cut it off later. And I'm not putting glue all over the entire backs, just enough to hold them down. So here I have a tag from Elle's Studio, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use it in two ways on the layout. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those banners so that they hang over the edge, and you'll see what I mean when I actually get it cut out and I have it on the layout. So you can see I'm just going to put glue, and then I'm going to put it over the top so that it looks like it's tucked behind it, but that the banners are lifting up like they're on top. And then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to go around the edge with just a black pen, just because it was a little too close in color to the background page. And so it didn't have quite enough presence on the page. And then I'm going to take the bottom half of the card, just so it's not like I'm wasting it, and I'm going to make a little banner out of it. And then I wanted 3 banners up at the top, so I pulled an orange sticker from My Mind's Eye, just a little label sticker, and I included it on there, and then I just redrew in the stitching line so it looks like the orange was always part of it, and it turned out great. So now I'm going to decorate my banner that I made with Brad from My Mind's Eye, and this is actually from the Tangerine collection that I used on Tuesday, so it's from that same collection. And I have 2 more pieces from that collection that I'm going to add, and they're all from the Brad set. And you can win parts of this collection if you complete Tuesday's challenge. So be sure to check out the link to my blog, and you can scroll down and find Tuesday's challenge so that you can participate. Okay, so now I have these mini market stickers from October Afternoon. This is yellow and black font, and I am going to put the location on the page, which is Disney's Animal Kingdom. And so again, the color works really well with the Studio Calico papers, and I'm really pleased with how many embellishments I had that went really well with this Sundrifter collection already in my stash. And so I'm just going to finish up the title off screen. And now I have from the Tangerine collection, this is another one of those pieces that were cut from the collection. Like I used a few of them on my layout on Tuesday. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use them on the page, because this paper collection also coordinates really well color-wise with the Sundrifter collection. So I am going to cut these little banners out and add them to the upper left corner, so they're layered over the 2 different clouds plus that little piece of washi. And then I'm going to cut another blue one out, and I'm going to layer it over the tab up at the top there. And and it blends in a little bit. So after I glue it down, I'm just going to go around the edges with the black pen again. And then I am going, in keeping with the collection, I have these instant photo frames, again, that I cut from the My Mind's Eye Tangerine collection. And I'm going to just layer them in the left corner there with the L Studio tag. And then I'm also going to put them in the bottom right as well underneath that cloud there. It's just a really fun look. I love just the extra little touch they add. And for me, photography elements and photography related elements are always appropriate for a scrapbook page because they always have photos on them. So now I'm going to just finish the page off with some enamel dots, again from the My Mind's Eye Tangerine collection. And so I'm just gluing them to this little piece of washi that was on the cloud from the Die Cuts with a View Sunday Afternoon matte stack. And then I'm going to take some, not the very smallest, but the next smallest size of them, and I'm going to put them on either side of the My Favorite that is written on the tab up there. And that pretty much finishes off the layout, except for I'm just going to date it because this photo is actually taken at Christmas. So, which I just thought was kind of funny. I don't know why, but we spent Christmas in Disney one year. We've done it a few times actually, and for some reason, you know, the way we celebrate Christmas is with my husband putting his head in animal skulls. So what can you do? All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the close-up. So there you can see the little tags that were cut from the page and how everything just flows together. Then there's the photo and the ombre title with the journaling. And then that bottom cluster with those little clouds and the enamel dots. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for still photos coming up.